Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We are working on part 3 today of our timeline. So if you are all caught up like you should be, you did part 1 where you just added some pictures to your Google Sheets, part 2 where you added some voting rights information. And then last week we switched our focus a little bit to Indian removal. You did some decision making as the Cherokee and as Tecumseh. What should you do in order to try and keep your land? Spoiler alert, they didn't keep their land. So what we're going to be adding to our timeline today is some events about Indian removal. So the very first step that I'd like you to do is to take a look at your timeline as it is. So you can find your timeline, post it as a private comment in the assignment. And there's a link, and I want you to take notice of what looks really cool that you put in there, your videos, your pictures, your dates, your information, and then what information might be missing that you need to improve. So you're going to go to the social studies assignment. You'll see a private comment with a link that will take you to something like this. It'll start with cdnknightlab.com. So this is part 3. This is what I am giving you. Yours is going to look a little bit different from this. So what I want you to notice is the media there? Or is it like a little error shot? Is the date correct? Like this date is not an actual date. It's why it says January 1st of the year 0. That is not when the Indian Removal Act was actually passed. So you're going to have to change that. So scroll through your entire timeline, watch the videos, refresh your memory, give yourself a high five for doing a nice job, or just figure out like, ooh, that 1814 event needs to be fixed.
Come on, Kevin.
So pause for a second.
Come on, boy.
Mac.
What?
Pause for a second, check out your timeline, and see what improvements need to be made or what you did really awesome at. Once you're done checking out your timeline, you're going to add part 3. So in the assignment, there's a document called part 3 to copy and paste because it's third part and you're going to copy and paste it. So when you open that up, it looks like this. And you'll notice this time there are some green boxes. So there's 8 events related to Indian removal. You need to get all 8 of these into your personal timeline. Okay, so you're going to start, and this works if you follow directions carefully, and it doesn't work if you mess up at all. Okay. So you're going to start in box A2. Notice how there's a blue square around here. To copy and paste, you're dragging all the way to L or beyond, it doesn't matter. I'm holding the touchpad down and then all the way down to box L, 8L. So you should see a thin blue line surrounding that. You're going to 2-finger tap to copy. And then you're going to go back to the timeline, your timeline, the one that has your name on it. So it should have part 1 and 2 already. We're going to need to add some rows to it. Maybe you might not need to, but I'm going to add 10 more rows. And then in box 22A, I'm just going to click on that one square to paste or Control V. And notice how it got rid of all that yellow. The green boxes showed up still. Has everything I need. So hit pause until you figure out the copy and paste situation and then come back. So the next step is your actual work for today. So the green boxes on your timeline, so you can't do this until it's in your personal timeline. The green boxes are for you to do. So you're going to use the link that I gave you, and I tried to clean up some of the links on the assignment. The link will help you fill out missing information. So the link looks like this. You can also Google and look things up in your own way. And then you need to see what information is missing and what do I need to find. So we need to find something that happened in 1814 where Andrew Jackson led the American Army to defeat the Creek American Indians. Creeks were forced to sign a treaty that gave away 20 million acres of their traditional land. So you need to come up with a headline for this one. So you look at your link, and apparently I got rid of the link with 1814 on it, but that's okay. You can also go back to your timeline. So now once part 3 is in there, as soon as you hit refresh on your timeline, all the events that I put in for you will show up, including this video from 1814. So notice that it doesn't have the title, but it does have a video.
Indians with similar cultural patterns associated together in what was known as the Creek Confederation. There were approximately 18,000 creeks in a large area that was bounded by the Tennessee. Some of the younger creeks had been influenced by Tecumseh, who had paid a visit to them. The Americans built a number of forts along the creek border.
So you'll notice, and if you go to, you can pull it out of their timeline and just watch it on YouTube. The title of this video is helpful. Jackson defeats the Creek Indians at the Battle of Horseshoe in the War of 1812. So it's also known as the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. So I'm going to add that into my timeline. Battle of Horseshoe Bend. Okay. So the Creek Americans were defeated and gave away 20 million acres of their land. Okay. So I gave you that one, so don't worry, that's not on your timeline. The next event, 1817 to 1824, is when the Cherokee assimilate. So this is what you were doing in your decision-making. Assimilate is adopting American ways, developed a written language, constitution, Christianity, learn to speak English. So for this one, you need to find an image or a video or a map, when it makes sense, that shows the Cherokee assimilating. So remember, to find an image, you have to copy and paste it the right way. Otherwise, it's going to give you an error message. So we could do the Cherokee assimilate. In a new tab, you're going to do an image search. Okay, so that's the adopting of white culture. So I'm going to look for a picture that shows how Native people turned into white people. And this one is kind of a good one because it shows the written language that was created. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead. So I'm going to click on it once so it appears in this black half of the screen. Then I'm going to 2-finger tap and make sure you select copy image address. You're going to copy the image address.
Stop, Kevin.
And you're going to paste it in this box here. So make sure that it shows up with something like other than Google. If in this text box, and you can see what's in the text box up here, if you get Google and like 10 lines of type, it means that you did it wrong and it's going to mess up your whole spreadsheet. So if you did it wrong, it's no big deal. You just go to it and you hit backspace and it's gone. And then just keep trying again until you can do it the right way. So again, copy image address from this black screen and then paste. Okay. Indian Removal Act, you need to look at your timeline to find a year for that. Please tell me that that one shows up in here. So I'm going to do a Control F, Indian Removal Act. Wow, this is the worst thing ever. So you're going to go to a different link that I'm going to give you as well. Indian Removal Timeline. This one's pretty good. So I'll add this. We can just, again, do the easy Indian Removal Act. Oh, look at it. It shows right up in 1830. Okay. So you're going to continue to fill in all of these green boxes using just regular Google search. You'll notice that there's a video on that, so you could watch the video to help you. Fill in the rest of these green boxes. So you need a title for this one, where the Supreme Court take their case The Cherokee people take their case to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court decides that they have the right to keep their land. But unfortunately, our presidents didn't listen to the Supreme Court, so the Cherokee were forced to move anyway, even after. So you're looking for the name of a Supreme Court case here. And again, there's a picture there if you'd like to check that out. Seminole Wars was fought down in Florida. So their strategy, the Seminoles, was to stay and fight, and they were pretty successful in their fight. So you're going to look for some media about the Seminole fighting to keep their land. 1838, Trail of Tears. We're looking for an explanation for that. And then the last box, you just need some sort of conclusion of Indian removal. By 1844, only a few pockets of Native Americans remained east of the Mississippi River, mostly in backcountry areas of New York, Michigan, and Florida. So you can give that a title, something about wrapping it up. All right, so once you have your green boxes full, you are going to go back to your timeline. Take a look at it. Make sure that your media works. Make sure that your dates look good. Make sure it's perfect. Fix anything that needs fixing. And then your last step is to turn that in. So you are going to submit the assignment. And if you need more help, hang out with me Monday today afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm also doing a help session. Let me take a look. I think we're doing it on Wednesday. We're doing for makeup work Wednesday at 10 o'clock with me and Mrs. Popovich. So I'm going to Monday at 1, Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And then if you can't make those, just find me on Hangouts. Okay. This is an assignment that needs to get done. So figure out a way to make it work. I will help you through it because it's pretty cool to see the results. So happy timelining.